Hi everyone, we are here to giving the presentation on our assignment, which is a group assignment, and the topic is audit, assurance and compliance. So there are different topics we're gonna discuss in the assignments and the presentation by different group of members. We are 6 members and I'm going to provide the introduction of the group members and the topic. So first topic, I'm gonna discuss about corporate governance, importance and objective and research. So the first I'm going to discuss about the corporate governance. What is corporate governance? The corporate governance is defined as a system that is constructed in a company to working on the best interests of the stakeholders. In the recent years, there are so many crises has been happening in the market, in the global market. So the financial market has been gone destroyed. There are two major concerns that have been emerged in the corporate market. In last 2 decades, we have witnessed many turmoil, especially in the real estates. These crises potentially damage the condition of the investment, and also corporation regulation bodies emphasize the implementation of corporate governance. So, what is the importance of corporate governance? The importance of corporate governance in Australia helped to regain the confidence of the investors to invest in the market to get the profit. The two main motives of the corporate governance is restraint, the recognition of the stakeholder. The weak corporate governance structure breeds corruption and trading in the fund. The probability of conflict of interest increase the corporate governance. So, the object of the research, which is given the 8 principle and recommendation in the corporate governance. So my other group member will be defined about the 8 principle and the recommendation. I will call to the other group member. She gonna define about the first 2 principle, and the rest will define by the other group members.
My name is Kamalpreet Kaur. I'm going to discuss the first 2 principles and its recommendations. So first principle is that companies should establish and disclose the role and duties of the management and the board of directors. So companies should regularly review their performance as well. So that contains the recommendation as well. So first recommendation is that directors are appointed to protect and enhance the stakeholders. So their duty is to formulate their strategies and their policies. So the second one is there should be a diversity in the board. So that diversity should include both gender and professionality of them. So the second principle is that board should be a appropriate size, like the member of the board should have the appropriate skills and the knowledge, and it also essential for the directors to have a appropriate knowledge and understanding of the risk management. So it has one recommendation as well. So that is like at least there should be at least 3 and the majority of independent director in the company, and they should have the skills and the knowledge to challenge the management and to accurate the problem which comes in the company due to a management. So the other principle is going to discuss by Rajwant Kaur, so she will discuss those. Thank you.
Hi, I'm here to discuss about the principle 3rd and 4th. In the principle 3rd, so we have to create ethical and responsible environment. In this one, it is coming from the management and the directors. They in the ethical and responsible environment. So employee have to work in the ethical and responsible way. So it also promote the ethical and responsible way in the decision making. So they also include some recommendation. In first recommendation in the principle 3rd, the investor is required the firm management as well as its board of the director. So we have to work in the integrity through the ethical and responsible way. Another principle is principle 4. In the principle 4, we have to discuss it is a structure about the protect the environment and authenticate the financial report of the firm. It also includes some recommendation. First recommendation, audit committees should consist of a majority of the independent directors, and another responsibility of the audit committee, it include the financial statement and financial report. So another principle will explain my another friend, so she will explain here.
1, 2, 3, ready?
Hi, my name is Biswas Karki. So I'm going to present the next principle here, which is principle 5 and 6. So the principle 5 explains make timely and balanced disclosure, which means listed entities should make timely and balanced disclosure of all matters that could have a material impact on the price of the value of the entity. So this principle has some recommendations, which is the first recommendation is the listed entities should have written a policy that complies with the continuous disclosure obligations. It's a right of every investor that has the full material information about the entity. The board should receive copies of all material market announcements. So let's move on to the next principle, which is principle 6. The principle 6 states that respect the right of security holder, which means the sixth principle means the legal entity should respect the right of every shareholder, stockholders, provide them with appropriate information and make sure that they can exercise their rights effectively. This principle has also the some recommendations, which is like it's the responsibility of the listed entity to provide its stockholder ready access to information. All the information should be provided on the company website. A listed entity should conduct investor relationship programs where investors could meet with the management and management could respond to their inquiries. The annual general meeting could also be an example of such an event. So this is the principle 5 and the principle 6 with some recommendation, and for the next principles my friends will explain here. Thank you.
So after my friend, I will explain the next 7th and 8th principle, which is the 7th principle is recognizing and managing the risk. The 7th principle states that the board should have sound management risk framework and periodic review of this framework, and that should be established in the firm. After that, I will explain the recommendation. The board should construct a separate committee for this management framework because it should be responsible for every risk, and they should review the firm's risk management framework, and the committee should be chaired by an independent director, and as well as they should disclose the every way which they are solving the risk-free management in the company. That should value the company that should makes the value of the company. And after that, I will explain the 8th principle of the board, which is regarding the remunerating fairly and responsibly to the directors and the whole employees of the company, because if they should be remunerated fairly and they should be rewarded by fair remuneration, that will motivate to them to they bring efficiency in their work in the company, and that will bring the talent in the company, and that will be a positive feedback for the company. And that's it. After that, my friend will explain next.
I'm Sashi Rai, and I am concluding this our whole topic. So the parts that I'm reviewing today is impact of corporate governance on the risk assessment process. So what we have is that the risk assessment process consists of a series of steps to identify the potential risk and provide detailed descriptions to the risk. When risk is identified, it had to be assessed on the basis of two principles. The first one is probability. Probability is the likelihood that an event will occur, but in this case, it's most probably the negative event. So, and the second principle is the seriousness. That is the degree of impact it can cause on the business. It can either be direct and indirect. And lastly, we have steps on how to assess the risk. So there are four important steps in assessing the risk. First is understanding the business entity, and the second is identifying the degree of risk, like I said before, how serious it is and how it can impact on the business. And third is assessing the risk. It may be like making a record of the findings, or how the risk harms the business, and who it may cause like a very big impact to. And the last step is responding to the risk. So it is so responding to the risk, it means it is an action time. So what actions are to be taken to finally get rid of the risk. So in conclusion, the study provides the contribution